Hello, Internet! I am the ghost of Duraludon Future, and I have come to commentate this run of Just Dance 2021 for the Xbox One. It is also available on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and whatever the new ones are, and Nintendo Switch and Google Stadia. There are also mods that make it available for Wii, Wii U, and PC, but I'm playing on Xbox with no mods at all. The goal of the run is to get at least 5 stars on every song in the game, which corresponds to 10,000 points. You get 2,000 points per star, up to 5, plus there's Superstar at 11,000 and Megastar at 12. And the maximum score you can get is 13,333, but that involves getting all perfects and all gold moves. That was a gold move you just saw there. A correct gold move is rewarded with a yeah. You can get different scores on each move and those are worth different amount of points. Perfect is worth the most, followed by a super, then a good, an okay, and an X is worth no points. On gold moves, the only options you can get are a yeah, which is worth 5 times as much as a perfect, or an X, which is also worth 0. So if you really wanted, you could get all X's and get no points at all, but that's not the goal of this run. The goal of this run is to dance, and dance I am, even though the webcam is off sync with the game. If you look in that little square at the top middle of the screen, it shows a silhouette of me in pink, and that is me dancing with what the Xbox Kinect sees. I play on Xbox One because it uses Kinect, and none of the other consoles that this game is on have Kinect. The closest other thing is the PlayStation camera, which one, I don't own, and two, I've heard isn't that good because sometimes it like randomly starts scoring your floor instead of you, but Kinect doesn't have that problem. So the reason I'm doing this song first is because it's annoying to listen to, and I want to get it out of the way as fast as possible. However, you may notice that you're not actually hearing the song. That is because to avoid copyright, I've just muted the entire video because that is not something I want to have to deal with. But during the actual run, the game will not be muted, and I will have someone else commentating, and they will talk over this song anyway. There's a total of 41 songs in the game, but some of the songs have alternate routines. Now this video does all the regular routines and then the alternate routines at the very end. An actual run will only do the classic routines except if there's a donation incentive to get the alternate routines, in which case I'll do the alternate routines instead of the respective classic routines, with one possible exception, which I'll get to when we get there. Anyway, this is the new scoring screen. If you've been watching me for my other previous runs in marathons, you will notice that that is not what the scoring screen used to look like. But that tells you your total score as well as your individual number of perfects, goods, supers, okays, X's, and gold moves. So anyway, we're moving on to our second song here, which is a 4-player routine, and I'm following the one on the left, or at least the one that is on the left when you have that little stand next to the coach you want to follow screen. So for each routine, you have to stand next to the coach to pick what coach you're going to follow, and even if there's only one coach, like there was with the first song, you have to pick which color you're going to be, and I'm the pink one for all of the solo routines, and then it doesn't matter which coach you follow, you can still get the same number of points. It's down to personal preference, and my personal preference is when I watch the preview gameplays, like the Just Dance YouTube channel will release a 1-minute gameplay preview of the song, and at that point I'll watch it, and I might do what they all do if they all do the same thing, and if they don't, I'll just watch, and eventually my eyes will gravitate towards one of the dancers, and it's usually the leftmost one, unless it's a trio routine, in which case it's usually the one in the middle, but there are exceptions, of course. All but one of the 4-player routines in this game, I follow the one on the most to the left, but you can follow whatever you want. And speaking of that, I do encourage everyone watching to dance along to the songs. I mean, not during this video because it has no music and just my commentary, which does not sound as good as most of the music. I won't say all of the songs because there's some I don't like, but especially towards the end, the songs are good and I don't sing, so you're not going to get me singing. You're also not going to get anyone else singing. I'm not going to cover it. Some of the songs are already covered to avoid copyright, but I don't know how well that'll work for me. And so, for the most part, I think that's everything important. This game is rated E for everyone, which means bad words in the lyrics have been censored. And if you look in the lyrics, which are pretty small because the game is only a quarter of the screen, in the bottom left corner of the game, you will see lyrics that are highlighted. In this case, they're green, and I think you can see them well now. And you can sing along if you like, but I do encourage you to dance. You can pick whichever of the coaches you want and do what they do as they do it, not as I do it in the webcam, unless I fix the webcam delay, which I hope I can do. And those little people-shaped signs on the bottom right that scroll into the left are called pictograms, and those tell you what to do. When they get to that little bar, it's an indicator that this is what you should do when you should do it, and so that's how I learned the routine so fast. And this is pretty fast, I guess, considering that on the day of recording, the game had only been out for like 3 or 4 days. And I already have 13,000 points or more on every routine except one. Now, I won't be getting all of those in this run because for those, I won't have been doing them all in a row for 3 hours. But, you know. Anyway, at this point, I think I'm just going to go for song-by-song commentary, and you can switch between using the, I don't know what they're called, the timestamps? The timestamp segment things in the description that I'm going to put for each song. This is In the Navy by the Village People. This was technically the first song we knew about in Just Dance 2021 because someone from the Village People tweeted that the song was going to be in Just Dance 2021 well before we had official confirmation that Just Dance 2021 was going to be a thing. And also, this is a really old song. It's from the 70s. I forget what year specifically, but I think it was 79. But it's old enough that it's covered in-game, which the originals are always better than the covers, without exception. So it's unfortunate that covers are made, but Ubisoft gotta do what Ubisoft gotta do. Ubisoft does publish this game, and they have for all, 11 years now that they've been doing it. And for a song about the Navy, I feel like giving it a pirate motif is kind of just false advertising. And while I do not have Navy experience, I'm pretty sure piracy is not one of the things you learn. But I do know that the Village People are known for their silly costumes, and silly costumes this routine does have. So, also, people don't like this routine because it's so colorful and therefore for kids. And while I do agree that kids might enjoy dancing to this, I don't see why that's a problem. This is the second game in the series to be rated E for everyone instead of E10+, which means they're going to try to take advantage of that rating as much as they can to expand their audience to people old enough to play E games but not E10+ games. And I don't have to worry about that anymore because I'm 17 and freaking out about it, but some of my viewers may not be as old as I am, and so the ESRB has deemed that it is appropriate for anyone of the ages 6 or up to watch this run, and so hopefully I'll get some new fans of dancing because I really love Just Dance. Dancing is fun, it's wonderful exercise, and I should probably say the song's difficulty and effort ratings because songs have those. The first song, Kulikitaka, is easy difficulty and moderate intensity. The second one, Que Tira Pa'lante by Daddy Yankee and a bunch of people who are uncredited, is hard difficulty and intense effort, so props to you if you did that one. And then this routine is medium difficulty, moderate intensity. Uh, and that's it. Well, I would be quiet except the song's over, so I'm gonna talk about the next song very soon. So I got a high score on that song, which isn't unheard of, especially because, as I said, the game came out like 3 days ago, so I don't have my high scores quite yet on most songs, although I have gotten a couple full perfects. You won't be seeing any in this run, but they're definitely possible, and with a little bit of practice, I could definitely get it once the marathon happens. This song is Uno by Little Big. It's their second song in the series after last year's Skibidi, which I could get a perfect score on, although that happened rarely because the scoring was volatile. Here the scoring is a little more consistent, but I can't do quite as well, at least not yet. The routine has a medium difficulty and a moderate intensity. Effort, intensity, they're the same thing. And so this is a really weird animation style. I'm not entirely sure how all the intricacies of this were pulled off, but it looks really cool, and no one was expecting it, and it looks great. And I think this is the first time something like this was done in the series. And if you could hear the game, you'd know that the dancers' heads are lip syncing the lyrics, which is interesting, especially because there's a word at the beginning that's censored because it's the name of an alcoholic beverage, and this game is very strict about censoring those words. There are a couple routines, or there are a couple songs where it's censored, and this is the first one, but the dancer still lip synced it, which is interesting. There are a few other routines in the game with lip syncing, but I don't think any of them have censored words. At least not in at least not being lip synced. So normally I'd say that means when they recorded the routine, because Just Dance is known for recording real people on a green screen and then editing those to change the colors and stuff and add a background. But I don't, or normally I'd say that would mean that the routine was recorded with not the censored audio, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, now it's time for Kick It by NTC 127. This routine is rated hard and moderate. This was one of the routines that was not revealed until like the full song list was out, and people really like this song apparently, so I feel like it might have been a good idea to reveal it maybe a little bit earlier, but I am not skilled in marketing. I'm just a consumer and a dancer, so their game, their decision, I guess. So this is the first big example of coaches going in front of each other. There's this part, and then there's another part that's even more coaches going in front of each other. And usually that's not a problem because you're just holding a Wii remote, and that doesn't get affected by the people around you. But on camera consoles, like Kinect and the PlayStation Move, yeah, this move, see how they're going in front of each other? If I were to actually do this with 4 people, which I would like to do, but no one else in my house is a dancer, and I can't exactly invite anyone over right now, the game would get confused about which person was following which coach, and so it would either give us the wrong number of points or no points, or would uh, be wrong about who's following what coach. Um, Although one thing that this routine does do very well is I noticed that a lot of people like moves where in routines with multiple coaches, the coaches do things one at a time and not the same thing in sync with each other. So here they're going in order, all doing the same thing, and earlier you saw they all did different things, but you only have to do the moves of one, and you don't necessarily get points for standing still, but you don't get points for doing the other moves, and if you're actually doing it with other people, it might be like hogging the spotlight or something. Also, I'm not sure how you do this as all 4 of them. I mean, I could if I tried, but I want to, like, actually do this with 3 other people if I ever find 3 other people that want to do this. So, here's another 1 by 1 section, and actually this is really long, so now I just do that pose for a while, and I even look away from the screen. And I'm not the most familiar with this song, so I may look back at the screen to know if it's time to go yet, because I don't want to miss my next move. Also, the gold moves are fun, and that's all I have to say about this song. Now that is a very good score. Only 2 supers, I think, and the rest perfects. And speaking of the rest perfects, here is Get Get Down. Um, this song I can get all perfects on, and I almost do, and I'm really mad I didn't. Uh, and I know I didn't because I'm the ghost of the future. Uh, my intros are funny, but also they're, well, I'm not going to say accurate, but anyway, I'm still upset about not getting the full perfects, and you'll see what I mean here. And this is Get Get Down. It's medium difficulty and low intensity, and again, I'm just a dancer. I'm not a costume designer, but I think the dancer all the way on the right should be wearing a red helmet instead of a blue one. Again, that's just me. And I don't really have anything else to say about this routine, except it's another one where they go in front of each other. It kind of has the 1 by 1s, but not really. And this song was actually sampled in a different song from 2 games earlier, uh, Mamma Mia by Myra Veronica, and I prefer that song, but I can get a higher score on this one, even though I've had the opportunity to play Mamma Mia for a whole lot longer. Now that is the face of someone who just did the agony of defeat. Although, one thing about the agony of defeat is that it was during a ski jump. And while I can't exactly do the ski jump, I can do whatever this is, which seems to take place in the Arctic, with one crucial problem. It's that none of these dancers are actually dressed for Arctic weather. Like, do not. The one bad thing about this routine is that, or actually a lot of the routines in this game, is that the fashion is not great. Like, a lot of these costumes I wouldn't want to wear during normal daytime, which is why which is part of the reason why I picked the costume I'm wearing, because it's something that I would actually want to be seen in. It's just green shirt, black pants, the gloves a little weird, but whatever. Sunglasses don't make that much sense indoors, but I've worn worse. And I guess we'll come back to that costume like at the very end. So stay tuned for that. And I'm probably going to wear this same costume on run day, because I do like wearing costumes, although I might do it blindfolded depending on if I submit that to your marathon. I might not. I theoretically could and might do well, especially if we don't do the alternate routines, which could be a donation incentive. But wouldn't it be hilarious to watch me flail for extreme routines blindfolded, with the experience you get for playing a game for less than a week? I mean, once the marathon happens, I'll have a little more experience, but still. Speaking of alternate routines, there are two types of alternate routines: extreme routines and alternate routines. Extreme routines have extreme difficulty and intense intensity, which is the hardest difficulty and the most intense effort or intensity, and they're hard and they're exhausting. And if you do nine of them in a row, especially after doing 41 other routines, it's tiring. So don't try this at home, kids. I'm a professional. Shown on screen here, you can see the only instance in the entire series of 3 gold moves back to back with no non-gold moves in between them. The previous record was held by Handclap VIP version in Just Dance Unlimited, where it had 2 gold moves back to back immediately after each other, this time on both camera and controller consoles. Those 3 gold moves were exclusive to camera consoles like the Kinect. If I was on like the Switch, or even if I was using my smartphone, it wouldn't be 3 gold moves in a row. There would be moves between them. Also, I'm noticing a pattern in a lot of these songs. You enter from the right side of the screen and you exit to the left. Or sometimes you come in from both sides and you exit from both sides. And now it's time for my favorite song and routine in the game. I like this routine much better than the alternate routine, which is why I'm considering, even if the alternate's going to launch, just doing this instead, especially because this routine is medium difficulty and intense intensity, whereas the alternate routine is medium difficulty and low intensity. So make it a little harder on me by doing the intense one instead of the low one. This is based on an 80s workout video, and a lot of the songs have a definite 80s vibe. When I wore this costume on Halloween, I was told I looked very 80s, even though the song in Just Dance that this costume goes to is from 2019. So anyway, this is Juice by Lizzo. Probably my favorite, or one of my top favorite songs in the game, and definitely my favorite classic routine. I'm following the guy on the left, and this is the only trio routine where I don't follow the one in the middle, but again, you can follow whichever one you want. And I never got finished talking about alternate routines. The extreme routines, you unlock them by getting at least Superstar on the classic routine, where for the non-extreme alternate routines, you have to unlock them by playing the classic routine 3 times. In Just Dance 2020, you had to play it 5 times, which was annoying. And also you get a specific reward called a sticker for playing any routine twice. And if you get enough stickers, you complete the sticker album, which in this game is just the background of a song. And I'll tell you about that when we get to it. It's a trio routine, but I play as the one in the middle. So these songs are organized first by which coach I follow. Like all the 4-player routines where I play as the one all the way on the left, and then all the 3-player routines where I play as the one on the left, and then all the 2-player routines where I play as the one on the left. And then there will be a little intermission where I do 2 songs with only 1 player, so I can shift myself over to the right side of the player menu, so I can be the second player in trio routines and the second player in duet routines. And then I'm just going to do all the solo routines in a row with exceptions for the alternate routines that aren't solo. So I'm going to do all of the solo routines first, and then I'm going to do the alternate routines, and hopefully I'll survive and not actually become a ghost to voice this. Who knows? See what that person just did? He just drank water. And that is an excellent thing to do in general, but specifically during something like this. Like during any speedrun, you'll want to stay hydrated, especially when you're doing like a full-on workout for 3 hours. I'm gonna mention that as much as possible because this is like apparently really impressive at all, but because I'm doing this in like half a week after, let's see, this was recorded on Sunday and the game came out on Thursday, so yeah, it's been 3 days since the game came out and I'm already doing this, and apparently that's really impressive. And like, thanks, but also I should have practiced more, because then my score would be better and then I wouldn't be so exhausted. Part of the reason of why I'm exhausted is because I just did 2 songs in a row with the same difficulty and effort. Medium difficulty, intense intensity. And this song, I don't like how it sounds either, but at least it's not as painful to listen to as Kulikitaka. This is Dibby Dibby Sound by DJ Fresh featuring Ms. Dynamite and somebody else. J Faye, which is a great name. And I don't like to make fun of people's names, but I adore doing name puns, and I was really considering doing one for this, but I feel like that I should be serious enough in that regard to just use my name. So my name is not the ghost of Duraludon Future, but it's a title. I can have a title. And in this game, I don't have a title yet. You can unlock titles by dancing to specific songs or playing the gift machine. Eventually, I'm going to make a video where I play the gift machine. Don't know why I'm telling you this, but I will eventually once I get all the coins. You need a lot of coins. And so you actually see me over the course of this leveling up a lot. You get more experience the better you do. So getting more points gives you more experience than less points. And so I have skyrocketed to at least level 80 by now, and by the end of this run, way higher. And that's giving me a lot of coins, but I still need more coins. And so I will have to keep playing. And I don't actually know that if I'm at the max level, it won't show the level up thing anymore. But if it doesn't, then that'll be great, because that means that as soon as the results screen shows up, you can see what my score is, and I won't accidentally click past it too soon, which I do a couple times in this run. Anyway, this song, Joone Khodet, is the first Persian language song in the series. And so the previous song, Dibby Dibby Sound, I'm told has the same backing track as the theme song to a show from the 80s called Knight Rider. And so I'll have to look into that. But speaking of old television shows, has anyone here watched Police Squad? Because that is the funniest thing ever, and that's a fact. And one of the gags they always did in every episode was when they went into the elevators, they would have some conversation, and the elevator would open at a couple floors before they got to their destination. And it would show something ridiculous like a nightclub, or an aquarium, or a person taking a shower. And and sometimes a person would get into the elevator with them and then get off at a different floor before the police chief and the main detective person guy, who I forget the name of because I haven't seen the show in so long, get to their floor, and then more fun things happen. I really wish that the show had continued, but it was taken off the air because we needed to actually pay attention to it to get all the jokes. And that makes me sad that people didn't already find it funny enough that they paid attention the whole time and they just had it on in the background, which is not really how things are supposed to be enjoyed. Like, I will say that sometimes I put Just Dance on in the background as background music. Like, if you just be on the menu of a song on the main track list of the game you're playing, like a song that's not on Unlimited, so all the songs I'm playing here, it'll just play a loop. And so sometimes I listen to that loop, but that I'm not getting the full experience of doing the dance. I'm just hearing music, which I could do with any number of other things, like the computer I'm recording this on, or my Amazon Echo over there. Anyway, in another dated reference, Super Mario Sunshine, the King Boo fight, slots. Apparently 777s means you win gold. Move. And that is probably not the worst joke I will make tonight. If it is, then you have been spared, and if not, I am so sorry. Because I'm playing a song where the titular lyric is "I can't wait for the weekend to begin" on Sunday night, this run is cursed because it's still the weekend, even though it's about to not be. Anyway, this is The Weekend by Michael Gray. It is hard difficulty and intense intensity, so if you're a little tired after the past few, you might want to sit this one out, or maybe not. This is the song I mentioned last time where I just put it on in the background and do my work. And it's great because I'm working through the week, listening to a song about working for the week so that you can do not work on the weekend, or specifically 6 o'clock on Friday night and then Saturday. How is this song called The Weekend if it never mentions Sunday once? Anyway, I would not want to work in this office because, actually, I don't know, I might, but there's a lot going on, and also sometimes the printers just print out a bunch of papers, so maybe not, but if it's not my fault, then I won't get blamed for it. Also, apparently I can nest my coworkers in my computer. And while I do love a good recursion now and then, the computer that I'm currently using is not good enough to do that. Also, it's really good. This costume is really good because it has a jacket, and there are some routines, such as this one, where it's good to wear a jacket. Also, gay rights. That's all I have to say. Gay rights. The Weekend is one of the songs that I've gotten full perfects on already, even though it's hard intense. I find those are more guidelines than actual difficulty ratings. Like the one song I don't have 13,000 or more points on is Easy Low. So, this is Ice Cream by BLACKPINK and Selena Gomez. It is the most recently released song in the entire series, being released in August 2020, like at the end of August. And it is the last 4-player routine in the run. There aren't a whole lot of 4-player routines in this run. It's rated hard difficulty and moderate intensity, and again, you can follow whichever coach you want. I'm just following the second one because I tried following the first one and I didn't get a lot of points, and then I tried following the second one and I got way more points. So, because I want way more points, I'm following the second coach. I really don't have a whole lot to say here other than this is one of the many, many songs where if you listen to the lyrics too closely, they don't make any sense. Like, uh, he calls me ice cream, so find me in the fridge right where the ice is. Why do you keep ice in your fridge? Or ice cream? Why do you keep ice cream in your fridge? I don't know about your fridge, but in my fridge, if I put ice in my fridge, it would melt. My fridge is warmer than the freezing temperature of ice. But my freezer isn't, so maybe try putting your ice in the freezer, and maybe he won't call you names then? Also, we never find out who that he is that's calling the singer ice cream. Here's another one of those kind of one by one moves, but not really. And it's easiest when you follow the leftmost coach. Because then you just follow a nice pattern. Following any of the other ones, it's probably better if you have other people there. Every Just Dance game has a song from Disney, except for spin offs and the original Just Dance and Just Dance 2 and Just Dance 2017. But every other Just Dance game has a song from Disney, and Just Dance 2021 is no different. Here it has You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. Even though the background contains or will contain elements from future Toy Story movies, the song is from the original Toy Story, and so that giant logo at the beginning says Toy Story. This is the other of the two songs from the main track list that also appears in kids mode along with Kulikitaka. And I am really not a fan of routines where the coaches dress up in some kind of costume that changes their body type. Because then I don't know what to do with my arms most of the time, and it's awkward, and I don't score a lot of points. Like, there's this one alternate routine in Just Dance 2017 where the coaches wear inflatable sumo outfits, and that's weird. Pac-Man in Just Dance 2019, I don't know how to position my forearms because the coaches don't have forearms. And I hope that you know what I meant by that. This is by far the shortest song in the game. It's one of only it's one of only two songs under 3 minutes, and the other song is like 2:58. So this is definitely the shortest song in the series. Here's a weird gold move. Well, weird or fun. Anyway, that was You've Got a Friend in Me, the first of two songs in this run that has been parodied by Translator Fails, who is my favorite music artist in general. She deserves to be in Just Dance. Maybe not the translates, but some of her originals. Not sponsored, I just like her. And now we have this song, which is kind of annoying, which is circumstantially unfortunate because this song I got full perfect on my first try playing it. Which, like, prior to this run, at least, I have never gotten anything less than a perfect on this song. This is Dance Monkey by Tones and I, and I do not like this song because the singer is annoying, the song's too slow, and I think the lyrics might be about abuse. But I can get a perfect score, so who cares, right? This is Dance Monkey by Tones and I with a medium difficulty, a low intensity, and a Clown, which is a different song in a different game that actually I don't think was ever released. But if we're looking for routines where the coach is a clown, I would prefer Circus by Britney Spears as featured in Just Dance 2016, where it's a 4-player routine, and the first one, the one I follow, the one on all the way to the left, is indeed a clown. And she does not this. It's a real shame that I don't like Dance Monkey because apparently Just Dance really does. The song was used for both reveal trailers of like Songless Part 1 and Songless Part 2 uh, in Nintendo Direct and Ubisoft Forward pre-show respectively. Uh, so, I mean, at least the songs we got in those reveals were wonderful and great. But Dance Monkey was, of course, the first one we got to. So anyway, here is our second trio routine, the first of most of them, where I'm the middle dancer. This is Samba de Janeiro by Bellini. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I don't speak any languages other than English and maybe French. But, and so therefore I might not be able to pronounce Portuguese. This routine is rated easy and intense. It's easy because there are like 5 different moves. It's intense because those moves will those moves are more intense than most cardio exercises I did in school. So, great workout, fast and upbeat and danceable song, super repetitive. I should not be doing this in long sleeves. Up next, we have the song of summer 2020, Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. The Just Dance routine is rated medium difficulty and moderate effort, which isn't a lot, and it's probably more tame than some of the other moderate, but it's definitely not low, probably not intense, and it's not hard either. One thing that is hard is ignoring the fact that the guy on the left is too far to the left, especially compared to the girl on the right, and that mistake is not corrected ever. Like, look at this. I don't like this routine as much as I could have because of that. Anyway, it's not low intensity because of this move where you jump a bunch. And also, those rain effects are weird. There's another song later on that's a solo routine that does the rain effect much better, and I'll tell you when we get there. And I'm like disappointed that the song about rain doesn't have a good rain effect. It's a different song. This is another one of those songs like Kick It that wasn't revealed until reveal day. So, surprise! Also, this is one of the two songs that is playable right now in the demo version of Just Dance 2021. Get it on all major consoles. That, I think on all the consoles that have the game. I know it's on Switch, I know it's on Xbox One, and there's no reason why it isn't on PS5, Xbox Next Gen, or Stadia. So get the demo and you can dance to Rain on Me, as well as one other song in the game, which we'll get to later because it's a duet routine where I'm the second player. This is Yameen Yasar by DJ Absi. It is an Arabic song, and it's also a song that was published by Ubisoft. There aren't too many of those, but this song actually fits perfectly if you replace the audio with Habibi Yayini by Organite. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, which is also like the code name of this song in the game files. So it was supposed to be Habibi, but they changed it for some reason. Um, this routine is hard difficulty and intense intensity, and uh, it's the first song published by Ubisoft to have an extreme routine. Like, this isn't the first song in the play, or this isn't the first song that I play that's going to have an extreme later, but it is one of them, and the first one I'm telling you about explicitly. So there's this, and then there are some others. And I'm not going to get into any more detail because why ruin the surprise? Also, you can just like check the timestamps in the description or whatever. This routine is tied with one other for the most gold moves of any routine in the game with 4. Um, it's a step up from the past two games, where in both cases, every routine in the game had 3 or less gold moves, except for one extreme each. Um, and now none of the extremes have 4 gold moves, and it's just 2 non-extreme routines. This one and a different one that I'll also mention later. So gold moves don't have to all be at the same time, and you can even have one player have a gold move while the other players are doing a non-gold move, like this sequence here. Here, player 1 gets a gold move, and now player 2 gets the gold move, and now player 3 gets the gold move. And that's all the gold moves in this, that's all the gold moves in this routine. Now, there aren't any routines in this game where one player gets more gold moves, or where one coach, we call them like player 1, player 2, player 3, but if you were actually doing it with default player settings, the one in the middle would be player 1, the one on the left would be player 2, and the one on the right would be player 3 in trio routines, which is weird. But anyway, what was I saying? I forget what oh yeah, gold moves. In this game, there's no routine where one coach gets more gold moves than the other, but there are some routines in the series that do that. But regardless of how many gold moves there are or whatever, there's always in every game since Just Dance 2, there is a maximum of 13,333 points, and it is theoretically possible to get it. I've gotten it a couple times, but not as many as I theoretically could. So I'll get on that at some point, but for now, I'm commentating. The irony of this song being in this game is hilarious. In the second ever Just Dance game to be rated E for everyone instead of E10+, we have Without Me by Eminem, a song with a total of 26 replacements or censors, the most in the series. I would also like to point out that the music video for this song features Rapman and his sidekick, Rap Boy, I think, who go on a superhero adventure thingy to prevent a kid from listening to the album that this song is on because of the parental advisory rating on the cover that the kid was ignoring, and the parents didn't know the kid was listening to it. So, all the bad stuff is hopefully censored. They really made sure that you can't just, if you don't already know what the word is, you won't know what it is already, and you can't like hear it if you're not supposed to. There are a couple routines where they could have done a better job with that, but this one, they made sure to not say anything that they don't want young uns hearing. Also, it's kind of funny that the last line in the song is just him shouting, "Kids!" Like, what kids are still listening to the song after you said 26 different things that Ubisoft thought should not be in their game? And rightfully so. I mean, there's only one... There are very few situations where I would prefer the uncensored version, but there's a line coming up right around now where someone comes along on a mission and just shouts a curse word, and that, to me, is really funny. But I understand why they didn't do it. So, this is another routine with the 1x1 gold moves, except the gold moves are a bit more spread out than in Yameen Yasar. It's like every coach has their own verse, and in that coach's verse, the other coaches are doing the same thing as each other and don't have the spotlight as much. And if you look at the background, it's like an actual comic book, like a superhero comic book, which is amazing. And this is what the stickers go to. There's a total of, I think, 101 stickers you can get through various means, and they tell the story that is told in this comic book. And it features these three superheroes doing what superheroes do best, saving the world from danger, and then being celebrated for it, while in a very recognizable art style. So this is actually the second song that I'm going to explicitly say has an alternate routine. It has an extreme version, and the coach you've actually seen already. It is, actually, I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out eventually. And indeed, it is actually the second extreme coach that you've seen already without knowing it. So, I'm hyping up the future of this video, which I know isn't a really nice thing to do, but if you're going to watch this anyway, have some motivation, which is a song that I wanted to be in this game, but it's not. Anyway, the song's over. On to the next song, which is, I forget, so I guess we'll find out together. Feel Special by Twice. This is one of 3 songs that was leaked when the game was. Before we had any official confirmation that there would be a Just Dance 2021, the Microsoft Store for a couple hours released it, and this was one of the 3 songs that it said would be in the game. And wouldn't you know it, all 3 songs that it said would be in the game were in the game. While that's not the most surprising thing ever, this is the first Korean language song in the entire series to have an easy difficulty. Every other Korean language song in the series, or at least the main series, is either medium, hard, or extreme. And this song does have an extreme routine, but it's not any of these 3 dancers. Similar fashion sense, but not the same character. I forget if it's like the same actor, person, dancer thing. This is also one of those routines where it's like a trio where everyone has their own part or their own verse. So I put these 2 routines back to back, not because of anything they have in common. They're just, well, sort of. They're both trio routines where I follow the second coach, the middle coach, but I put them in this order because that's my score from least to greatest. So I have a better high score on Feel Special than I do on Without Me. And I forgot to mention, Without Me was available on Just Dance Unlimited in Just Dance 2020 for a week. And so I played it a bunch. The same thing happened with Kulikitaka and Ice Cream afterwards, and one other song that's a duet routine. So for this game, we had 1 solo, 1 duet, 1 trio, and 1 dance crew routine. That's what you call a 4-player routine, but not in that order, surprisingly. Without Me first, then Kulikitaka, then the song that we haven't seen yet, and then Ice Cream. Then they were all on for a week. Kulikitaka, the one I haven't mentioned yet, and Ice Cream were on consecutive weeks. So it was Kulikitaka, then immediately a week of the one I didn't mention, and then the week of Ice Cream. Then there was a week in between, and then the game came out. So the week that there was a week that I was unable to play Ice Cream and it was uneventful, and then I got the game and now I can play Ice Cream whenever I want, forever. Why am I feel like I should be saying something, but there isn't really anything to say. Oh, hey, look, the song's over. Yeah, so this does get kind of repetitive after a bit, but hopefully there will be stuff about the songs to talk about besides what was already said. Like here, this song, Alexandrie, Alexandra by Claude François, covered in game because it's from 1977. This is a song that I can theoretically get full perfects on, even though I haven't yet, and I will continue not to. This is the oldest song in the game because it is from 77. When the song was first officially revealed, it wasn't covered in the preview, and then all the official channels took it down and replaced it a couple hours later with a preview that did have the cover on it. So I'm not sure what happened, but some previews like Samba de Janeiro still don't have the cover in their previews, but in the game they are covered. So that's unfortunate. This is the other routine that has 4 gold moves. And that's all I have to say about this. Enjoy the Shroom City from Paper Mario The Origami King, which is another game that I play and have speedrun at least once. And let me know if you know any sites like YouTube or Twitch where I could host a video and then put it on speedrun.com, but I need to have like a boatload of space because the video is 23 hours long. Because I did Paper Mario The Origami King 100%, and the next day I had school, and that was fun. But anyway, back to this. This was not a day before I had school, I think. Was it? Wasn't that long ago. I should remember this. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna put my availability so that I don't do it late at night on a school night, and that's a promise. All the trio routines in the game except for one, but it's an alternate routine, so that won't happen until after all the classic routines have ended. You can see in the thing in the description when it when the classic routines end. It's the first alternate version. Anyway, this is Paca Dance by the Just Dance Band. It's easy difficulty and intense intensity, and it's the first duet routine I'm doing where I play as the second one. I'm going to play as the second one for all the duet routines from now on. This is the other song that is featured in the demo of this game. So you can dance to this and you can dance to Rain on Me, free in the demo, or you can get the game and dance to all of these songs, plus like 600 more because of Just Dance Unlimited. Every game comes with 30 days of unlimited free, and you can buy more if you like it and want to dance to 600 more songs. I haven't checked, but I think every song from Just Dance 2020 is now in Just Dance Unlimited. So if you're gonna get a Just Dance game, I always suggest getting the new one so you can dance to pretty much all of the previous ones through Unlimited as well as all the new ones. And speaking of new ones, this song was created specifically for this game, because if you couldn't tell by the artist, the Just Dance Band, but also this song plays at the end of all of the teasers on the Just Dance YouTube channel. There was a different song that used to play, and that was featured on Just Dance 2018, but it was also on the end cards for Just Dance 2019, Just Dance 2020, and even the first batch of Just Dance 2021 songs. But now Pocket Dance is our outro, and I kind of prefer the other one. But also, this is my lowest scoring duet routine where I play as the second player, which is why it's the first of all the duet routines where I do that. Also, that one move where the lyrics say "whip your hair" and the coaches whip their hair. I'm glad I don't have long hair because that is going to give me whiplash, and I hope I don't snap my neck on stream because that would be uncomfortable. Now, this song people have been wanting in Just Dance since, uh, like, since the song was released. Pretty much, people have wanted it in Just Dance 2021, and now you got it. This is "Say So" by Doja Cat. Easy difficulty, low intensity, so it's one you should play. There isn't that much to say other than the background says "by rights," which I agree with. And also this move. If you want to dance, I suggest dancing to this one because there aren't that many easy and low songs left. This is a song I haven't heard of before this game came out, but people have wanted it in the game for a while because it's been out for a while. This is Runaway, You and I by Galantis. It's easy difficulty, moderate intensity, and the coaches are robots. So I actually don't know what that means. But the background is very when the chorus happens, the background really gets going. This is what I meant by the background getting going. And I believe this is the first time in the run where the coaches change color. This is an editing trick that's been done in every game since Just Dance 4. Uh, and it's always really impressive when they do that. And it's not on too many songs this year, but this is one of them. And so during the chorus, both times, and I think just during the chorus, they change into that one with black accents instead of other colors. And that happens in a couple other routines, but not too many. Last year it happened in an extreme routine, but I don't think it's happening this year. At least not a color change enough so that the pictogram color changes, which is also something that can happen. Okay, this song, one, it's easy low, so it's a dance that you can do if you really want. Um, but the lyrics are like really questionable. This is the second game in the series to be rated E, and it contains some pretty interesting content. Like, there's this, there's Without Me, the most censored song in the entire series. A couple questionable moves, but apparently that's not enough to warrant an E10 plus, so here we are. This is the second out of two songs in the game that have been parodied by Google Translate, and the Translate is, of course, way better than the original because that's how Google Translate works. And if only there was a way to change the game so that it played the translate version instead of the original. But unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no known way to mod Xbox games, and I don't have the game on any other consoles for which to change game files. So I guess I'm just stuck with this slightly questionable song. But it's okay. The ones I don't like tend to be the ones that don't have alternates, and that's certainly true in this game. So you just do it now, and then we shall never speak of this again. Unless, of course, I do it in your marathon, in which case, uh, I'm sorry. Rounding out the duet routines that aren't alternates are the or it is this was one of the songs released on Unlimited for a week before the game came out. It's Yo Le Llego by J Balvin and Bad Bunny. Easy difficulty, moderate intensity, and I can get almost full perfects, or I think I did once, but I don't get any full perfects in this run, unfortunately, because I've been playing for too long and now I'm tired. And if I'm tired now, wait to see what happens in another hour and a half, because I saved all the extreme routines for the end, and that's a choice that is surprising, but also you want to save the best for last, so you win some, you lose some, and this is probably either this or Without Me is my favorite song that was released on Unlimited. It's definitely my favorite song that I'm the second player of in in the duet routines. And after this are all the solo routines. You've seen three so far: Kulikitaka, You've Got a Friend in Me, and Dance Monkey. There are more of those, like a lot more. So that's what the rest of All Routines Classic is going to be. And then all the extremes are solo routines, and there's a seated version, which I will talk about when we get there. I should. There was something that I thought I was going to mention, and I can't believe I forgot, but a lot of times in songs, artists will shout someone's name, like either their name or the name of the featured artist or even the name of their publisher. Like, if you ever heard Red One at the beginning of songs or end of songs, that's because Red One is the publishing company, I think. But here, they just shout out geographic locations. Like, I'd say countries, but Puerto Rico is not a country. So, it's a bunch of countries and Puerto Rico. They all seem to be Spanish speaking countries, I think, I hope. And so, I don't know if like 8 different countries in Puerto Rico helped publish this, or if they're all, or if their entire populations are featured artists, or if he just wants to give them a shout out. I don't know. Anyway, now it's time for a long string of solo routines, starting with Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. When I tell this all the time, but when I look at like prediction list videos that people have for Just Dance 2021, every one of them, save 2, featured Don't Start Now. And lo and behold, Don't Start Now was one of the first routines that were confirmed. It was actually one of the 3, the others being Feel Special and Señorita, that were, like, the game was leaked to exist on the Microsoft Store, like on the Microsoft Store website for a few hours, and the 3 songs were Don't Start Now, Feel Special, and Señorita. And so we knew about those before the game was officially announced. We also knew about In the Navy because of a tweet by one of the Village people. And those 4 songs we got in our first batch of songs that were officially announced for the game. So no secrets there, except there definitely were, and I'll get to that when I get to that. And so it's a real shame that this is my lowest scoring song in the entire game. It's the only one that I don't currently have 13,000 points on or more. And that's surprising for a lot of reasons. One, it's easy low, which is usually a gimme, but I notice a lot of routines in this game feature moves where you have to walk to the right and then walk back to the left, and if you go too far to the right, then you're out of frame of the connect, and also I'm going to run into my wall or something. And so, but if you don't do the move correctly, you don't get some points. And also there are other moves that don't give you as many points. And it's just a whole mess, and the scoring's like kind of bad even on moves that don't feature me going to the right. And of course there are exceptions, but that seems to be the general rule. Also, there are 2 different routines where you come in from the right side, even though I play as the coach all the way on the left. So I have to like so after I have to start the routine on the left, run to the right before something actually happens, and then come in from the right. Excuse me. That happens for Que Tire Pa'lante and Get Down. But this isn't either of those. This I just start standing up and not doing anything. So that contributes to this easy low, because you're just standing there, not earning points, not losing points, not moving at all. And then you move some, but you don't really do anything. This next song is also rated easy low. It is, I think, my second lowest in the game, actually. So for some reason, I'm not. This happened last year too. There was an easy low song where the scoring was kind of broken, so it was my lowest score in the game. And so this is Adore You by Harry Styles. As I mentioned, it's easy low, and the storytelling is on point. Like, you see the coach is an artist, and he paints all these paintings of this woman as well as like nature landscapes and stuff. And the end of the routine is like really sweet and poignant and stuff I did not expect from a dancing game. And this song was also predicted a lot, but not nearly as much as Don't Start Now. But unlike Don't Start Now, we didn't get its confirmation until like a week before the game's release. That also happened with Say So. They were revealed, officially revealed, on the same day. It's just not a Just Dance game without at least one song leaked by an actual Just Dance channel. In this case, this song, Boy You Can Keep It, was supposed to be part of the Song List Part 1, according to the Song List Part 1 video description on a couple channels. Um, but it wasn't. It was part of Song List Part 2. And that makes it the second song from 2020 to be revealed for the game. Uh, the first one I'll mention when we get there, but it's much later in the run. I don't usually dwell on when songs were released, so I won't. But yeah, this song we knew about in the first batch, although we didn't actually see any of the routine until the second batch. This is medium difficulty, moderate intensity. And every routine with that one, I think it's voguing move, the one where you put your hands on your shoulders. Uh, every time that's appeared in the series, it's the routine has been easier. In Just Dance 2020, Sushi Extreme version had it, so that was an extreme difficulty. In Just Dance Unlimited, circa Just Dance 2020, Boys by Lizzo alternate version had it, and that was only hard difficulty. And now this, which only has medium difficulty. So I bet the next time we have that move, it'll be rated easy. This is the move I'm talking about. The hands on the shoulders. Another medium difficulty, moderate intensity song. This song was a choice. And by a choice, I mean, again, this is an E rated game as opposed to the series' usual E10 plus. This is All the Good Girls Go to Hell by Billie Eilish. Um, and of course, they don't censor anything in this, even though they've censored Hell in higher rated games like Just Dance 2017. It was E10 plus, and they censored Hell. So I don't understand how they choose when to censor stuff and when not to. They've just like at some point they stopped censoring OMG like completely, and I don't know why because they used to on E10 Plus games, and then Just Dance 2019 we had a song called OMG, which was an E-rated game. But anyway, um, ignoring everything else, the background is gorgeous and very interesting, and also very red. And also, I think this is the first of 3 routines in the game that probably take place in the Matrix, given on just what red things happen to the background. But we'll get there when we get there. Unless we're the Matrix, in which case we're already there. But then let's something meta. In Just Dance 2019 and later, uh, there are apparently so many songs in Just Dance that they started adding songs that have the same title as other songs in the series. The first one that was revealed was I Like It by Cardi B and a bunch of other people in Just Dance 2020, which has the same name as I Like It by the Blackout All Stars from Just Dance 4. But that wasn't the first to be playable. The first to be playable was Jump by Major Lazer, which was on Just Dance Unlimited, which has the same name as Jump by Crisscross, and almost the same name as Jump for My Love by Girls Aloud. But I thought the Pointer Sisters sang it first. Anyway, this is Bailando by Paradiso. It is easy difficulty, moderate intensity, and it has the same name as Bailando by Enrique Iglesias from Just Dance 2015. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's usually not a problem to have songs with the exact same name. The only time, so far there have been no, the only songs with the exact same name as each other, only one pair is on Unlimited, and that is I Like It, and I Like It. They have the same name, and I'm not sure how it was decided which one came first, but when you sort alphabetically, one of them comes first, and I don't remember which one. I think the newer one. There's another song in here that does the same thing. The Other Side from Trolls World Tour has the same name as The Other Side by Jason Derulo from Just Dance 2014, and I'll be doing that later. But Bailando is from 1996, which is interesting because the code name for the song is Bailando 1997 in the game files. And the code names don't have to be the same as the song. Like, they're usually shorter. Like, Boy You Can Keep It is shortened to Boy You Can. There are some nonsensical ones that I'm sure make sense in Ubisoft. Like, there are 3 different songs in Just Dance 2018 that are named after different types of snakes in their code names, even though the songs are not about snakes or anything like that. That's kind of off topic, so I should talk about this routine. In the second chorus, there's actually an error with the background. So you see the lyrics being highlighted in the background. There was actually, at one point, an error where that didn't happen, and the lyrics should have reset and be filled in again because the line was repeated, but it just like stays full for too long, and then it like fixes the mistake too late because it already has some that filled in and just unfills in the rest, and then the rest acts like normal. That is the only background error in this game that wasn't changed. There were 2 other background errors in songs that we haven't gotten to yet. One was fixed in the initial release, and the other was fixed in the day 1 patch. So, when I said anyone can dance, I really mean anyone. This is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, easy difficulty, low intensity, and the coach is actually an amputee, like the actual person who is in this costume. And I think that's great to have representation for people with physical disabilities, and to say that really anyone can dance. And there's really not that much to say about the routine except for that movie at the beginning. Like, some routines have cutscenes. That was like, you probably could, if you really wanted to, play an ad when the routine starts and not miss any actual dancing. Although, please don't do that. I am really not a fan of playing ads. If you saw an ad before or during this video, I'm very sorry. Actually, no, it wouldn't be for this video because it doesn't have any music in it. If you watch the version with audio, one, make sure to speed it up to 2 times speed, otherwise it's going to take you 6.5 hours to watch, and also the music will be slowed down the entire time, and the dancing. But you might see ads if you don't have like sufficient ad blockage or VPNs or whatever, which is why I suggest you do, because I do not earn any money from ad revenue on my videos. At least not yet. So when it does, I might consider changing my stance, but probably not. Because I'm not doing this for money, I'm doing this because it's fun, and ads are not fun, and therefore I'm not doing this for ads, and ads can go away. And speaking of going away, I'm not going to say any more commentary for the rest of this song. Surprise! I have a hat now! This is Georgia by Tiggs the Author. Medium difficulty, low intensity, and snazzy hat. I really don't know what else to say at the routine other than I don't have a purple hat. I have that yellow one, I have pink ones, and I think I might have one other color that's like. Uh, I I wish I had a purple hat like this that I could wear, but I don't. I can't cosplay this anyway because I don't have the shirt or the vest or a green glove. I need more gloves. Like if I want to cosplay more Just Dance routines, uh, I need more gloves in different colors. Although it is kind of funny that I only need the right hand glove for the costume. The left hand glove is like if I need to wear gloves for things you normally wear gloves for, like being cold in the winter. I think that's a winter glove I'm wearing right now, and it is not the most comfortable thing to wear a winter glove for 3 hours straight, especially not with that jacket and long pants. Maybe black pants wasn't the best idea because it's like dark. Although I guess they're visible if the lighting's good, and the lighting's coming uh, from my TV, which has the game, and the TV's pretty big, so hopefully you can still see what my legs are doing. But if you can't, just watch the on-screen coach because you can see what they're doing, and I'm doing what they're doing with varying levels of accuracy according to the game. But also, the game's not the be all and end all. How well do you think I'm dancing? Uh, is there something I need to work on? And is there something I'm doing well? Please tell me. I want to know these things. I want to get better. And also, I just want to dance. So, any excuse to do more dancing is a good reason for me. So I mentioned this a couple songs ago at Bailando because this is The Other Side, which has the same name as a different song in the series, The Other Side. But this is The Other Side from Trolls World Tour, which is why it's surprising that this routine is not Trolls related in the slightest. It's also not World Tour related unless. Like, I don't know what that background is, but it kind of looks like Deep Blue, or at least what I've seen from it from that time it appeared on Jeopardy. Speaking of Jeopardy, things got real sad real fast, and I don't want to be sad, so. But I do want to be fast. So do I stay on that, or do I go to something else? I think I'm going to go to something else. This routine was we knew the song would be in because of leaked song lists, um, which in this case means the back of the game box, which features almost all the songs except it doesn't feature Paca Dance or Get Down, at least not the copy of the game that I saw pictures of. I'm playing on a digital copy, so I don't know what the box looks like unless someone takes pictures. Somebody probably took pictures, but like I don't. Y- y'all ever just look at game box art or just look at the game box to see what's in the game and see if you can see anything interesting? Um, I mean, I looked at the Super Mario 3D World box. Super Mario 3D World is my favorite game, by the way. If only I were better at speedrunning it, maybe I would put it to this marathon. And then I wouldn't have to make two different versions of the video, one with no music and one put at half speed to avoid copyright. If you look at the Super Mario 3D World box art closely enough, you can see what is probably Rosalina, even though she's not advertised anywhere in the game except like once you actually get her, there's this one title screen sequence that you might be able to get. But unfortunately, Rosalina makes no surprise appearance in this run. Do you think it'd be better if she did? Do you think there should be a Just Dance routine for Super Mario Galaxy music? Because that is like full on orchestrated. It's really impressive, sounds amazing, and I bet they could do something with it. They've done a Mario routine in the past, and I'm not a fan of that. But maybe they can like they do something like this where it's from Trolls World Tour, but it's not Trolls World Tour related. Maybe they can do like Gusty Garden Galaxy or something and not make it Gusty Garden Galaxy related. Because I don't want to have to dance with Major Burrows. This song is a first for being last. It is the only song in the entire series, including spin offs, to start with the letter Z, which means alphabetically it's last in the series unless you're on Just Dance 2019, 20, or 21, in which case alphabetically you put the numbers and symbols after Z. So it would be Z, then songs like 1999 and Teen seinen Luftballonen, and then the special characters, which means hashtag Bat Power. Uh, Just Dance 2018 and earlier put those at the beginning, with Bat Power being the first routine, and then numbers if those existed. Yeah, 99 Luftballons. This is also the first Ukrainian song in the series, which means I have no idea what it says because it's not in English, but Lyrics Translate is a website that I recommend for knowing what songs mean, and while it doesn't have all the songs and translations aren't perfect, you usually get a good idea. Now, if only I could remember what this song meant. Even though I don't, oh hey, we hit the 2 hour mark. even though I don't understand what this song is saying, I still think the music is beautiful, and like everything the artist does is beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, that background is nice. This whole routine is nice. I like it. It's rated easy and low, but it's not like repetitive or not intense enough. So, yeah, please do this one. It's fun. It's not hard, and the dancer changes costumes, which is very cool. And also the back when the background changes between white and red, you can actually see the effect in my webcam before you see it in the game, which is how I can figure out how much more to delay my webcam by, and I'm gonna have to do that at some point, preferably sooner than later. Also, I love the fact that she's wearing a cape. People don't like this routine because this dancer is too colorful. I think it's great. It especially contrasts with the other one. And I think it's the same dancer both times in both costumes, but of course it was recorded separately and then edited together. Because if you're gonna do a costume change, don't do it on screen. Those never work as well as you think. Also, would take too much time, especially with all the care and effort that this costume that was all the care that was put into this costume. This song is very interesting because it's it's a song by Mozart, but it's a trap remix of a song by Mozart. But it's a trap remix of a song by Mozart that was featured in a movie. So Just Dance had to partially cover the song, by which I mean change the lyrics so they don't get copyright infringement. So the original lyrics say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know you wrote this." I didn't. But these lyrics say, "I'm sorry, do you know who this is?" I don't, which doesn't make as much sense. But at least now it doesn't sound that much like trap, but it's getting there, and the dancer's going to change colors again, which is really cool. And especially with the new color scheme, uh, he looks like Fire Lord Ozai, which is kind of funny. Also, I know you can't see the menu squares, or if you can, they're like really tiny, but this is the first menu square in the series where the coach's back is to the camera. And like menu squares have been getting really creative, especially since Just Dance 2019, where the coaches have been in interesting places in their menu square or have the opportunity to. Like the menu square for temperature is probably the craziest I've seen. But this is not temperature, this is lacrimosa. So when he says that was Mozart, he's kind of right, but I don't think Mozart would write a song for a movie in 2018. But what do I know? Anyway, here's a random gold move. It's the only one in the routine. Some routines have one, some of two, some of three, a couple of four. There hasn't been a routine with more than four gold moves in a very long time. And I'm just waiting for there to be like a routine with a cajillion gold moves to make up for that, because gold moves are fun unless you miss them, in which case they're terrible. But I usually don't miss them, but when I do, it sucks. And that is foreshadowing. This next song was revealed in an odd way because it wasn't revealed like all the other songs with a couple others on a Thursday, once weekly reveals started. This was revealed on a Saturday because it was uploaded by the Ubisoft Brazil, and then a couple hours later, the other Just Dance channels were like, yeah, I guess we're doing this now. And so they did. This is Volar by Lele Pons. It is medium difficulty, low intensity, and I really like it. It's another one of those songs where a lot of people like, but I haven't heard before it came out, and now I like it too. Um, it's another fun one. This is one of the ones that I really want you to dance to. Like, if you're not going to do all of them, do like this one, do Zenith. Um, and like, there's no reason why you can't do the seated one, but the seated one isn't for a bit. So, I wonder if this is going to get. I wonder if this is going to be that one song that gets an alternate routine uh, with the Just Dance World Cup champion, because every year the Just Dance World Cup champion gets to make their own fan made routine for a song in a Just Dance game. And usually it's a song that doesn't already have an alternate. So, well, I mean, that never happened with Just Dance 2020, so maybe it'll be a song from there. Or it could be this. There's only one way to find out. This is Magenta Rhythm by DJ Snake. It is medium difficulty and moderate intensity, and I really don't have anything specific to say about this song. I just like it. It's fun. It's not that hard. It's not that intense, but it's not too low intensity either. So I like this one. I like the song. I like the dance. It's one of those songs I've marked as favorite, which is something you can do in these games. This is probably the most intense routine in the run. So unless you're like training for a marathon or something, I suggest you skip this one if you've been dancing to a lot of the others. I mean, you can do it if you want, but it's very intense. It's medium difficulty, but and also if you do this, I suggest you not do it in like a jacket. I sincerely apologize to anyone who speaks the Spanish language for whatever these lyrics are, because these are not the correct lyrics to the song. They are broken. Whoever wrote them needs to uh, not write lyrics anymore. This is Buscando by Good Times Ahead and Jen Morel. It's rated hard and moderate, and it's fun, and it would be perfect if it weren't for the fact that the lyrics are either nonsense or just not what the singers are saying. One of the misheard lyrics was even cited in the ESRB rating. So, oops. Well, it's finally happened. Till the World Ends is finally in Just Dance. And unfortunately, it's a cover. And I can't really speak to why it was covered because I don't know, but I do know that previous Britney songs have been uncovered, or not covered, I guess. But I suppose it makes sense for this song because uh, the chorus is shortened, which is fine, I guess. I mean, we still got the song, but I think the uh, I think the original is better than the cover. which I think most people will agree with. This routine is medium and moderate, and another one you should dance to. And we're coming up on the end of our classic routines run. Only one song left after this. And so these are like my top two scores for or high scores for solo routines. Yes, I'm still mad that I missed that gold move, even though I recorded this like a long time ago, relatively. Um, anyway, now we've got the last song in the classic routines, Rare by Selena Gomez. Easy difficulty, low intensity, and I can get a perfect score sometimes, usually. This song, uh, this song was actually added in the day one patch of the game, at least on the Switch version, because people who got the game early didn't have it. But we found some stuff in the files, and I guess in the day one update they added it. So now, song is in the game, and Selena Gomez has 2 songs total in this game after Ice Cream. And so hopefully her other song, Same Old Love, will come to Just Dance Unlimited coming up on time right now. So that was all classic routines in Just Dance 2021 in 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 17.72 seconds. However, the run is not done, for we have alternate routines to get to. This is Juice, but the alternate version. It's called the Yummy version, which is a choice. And I mentioned before how I don't like following coaches who wear costumes that change their body type. So I follow the one in the middle because that is a realistic shape for a person to have and therefore easier to follow and easier to score. And also I usually play as the middle coach in trio routines. Juice actually had, if I lived in Germany, Juice would actually have another alternate routine that's also a trio, but it would be a fan made by Flying Steps Dance Academy. Hopefully that'll come to Just Dance Unlimited soon. Hopefully. Please. Along with all the other regional exclusives. And that one's much harder than this. This is medium and low. So. So, in this game, most of the alternate routines are extreme, but every game since Just Dance 2014 has had a seated alternate version. So you can do this whole routine while sitting down, which means there is zero excuse for you not to dance to this. This is also rare by Selena Gomez. It's rated easy and low, and you can do the whole thing while sat down. I think one of the people's favorite parts from my blindfolded Just Dance 2020 marathon run was when I did the seated dance. That year it was God is a Woman by Ariana Grande, and I brought out the stool, and people were saying, like, stool-san, and then when I took stool-san away, they were like, bye, stool-san. So Stool-san will make a return if I end up doing the alternate routines, and I really hope I pronounced that correctly. But I'm not going to be commentating, so it doesn't really matter if I do it. I'm going to have at least one other commentator, and yeah, I remember last year my commentator said, like, unless you're actively in a meeting, there is no reason that you can't dance this routine. And I mean, I'm not saying that for you as the reviewers, but if I do end up playing this song in a marathon, like, it's like, if you're gonna do one, at least do the seated dance. But yeah, and then after this, the stool will go away, just like the hat went away after Georgia, which I'm still kind of laughing at. And this one I'm close to full perfects, but I haven't actually gotten it, unlike Rare, where I've actually gotten all perfects. I just need to practice more, and then I'll get it. Maybe I'll get it by the time the marathon happens. Well, I don't know why I do this to myself, but now that all of the, or now that we've done the seated dance, everything left are extremes. Um, this is Samba de Janeiro Samba version, so it's actually not technically extreme difficulty, it's just hard difficulty, but it's also intense intensity, and in Just Dance 3, that's how you denoted an extreme routine, and so I say that hard difficulty, intense intensity routines are still extreme, which means I've actually done a couple extremes already, but now it's time for the ones that are like the alternates that are called extreme version, after Samba, of course. Uh, this comes 2 games after Havana's Tango version in Just Dance 2019, which was hard moderate, but it was so much less intense than this and probably easier. Maybe I just have more practice at that because that I've had for over 2 years, and this I've had for half a week when the visual was recorded. This was not the last routine that I've gotten 13,000 points on, but it's definitely my lowest high score aside from Don't Start Now classic version. My high score is 13,004, which I do not get because, again, I've been playing for over 2.5 hours, and that really does something to your stamina. So this is an endurance thing more than anything else, although it is good dancing and good exercise. Um, I don't recommend you do all of these unless you're like, unless you want to try this, in which case, go for it and make sure to have lots of training, lots of practice, and drink lots of water, which is something I will be doing a lot because after this, it's extreme versions, 9 of them, I think. Yeah, there are 9 extreme versions, and then the run's done. Kicking off our extreme version mini marathon inside this marathon is the alternate version of Kick It by NCT 127. And so extreme routines are partially extreme because they do a lot of different moves as opposed to the same move repeated a bunch, and they do a lot of moves in quick succession as each other. And sometimes it's the same move and sometimes it's not, but when you're doing an extreme for the first time, you're really flailing around and you're kind of doing what they're doing and not really. But after a few tries, you get the hang of at least some moves, and then you just have to learn the rest, which is something that I've been doing. So, uh, this is the closest thing we're going to get to a color changing dancer for the rest of the uh, game, I think. Um, I think it's really cool, these effects that his clothes change color to match the background, although it's still mostly black, so the pictograms stay black the whole time. This is this is the first of 2 K-pop songs in a row um, in this run that have extremes. By which I mean the next extreme is also a K-pop song, and then I think that's all the K-pop songs. Every other song is not in Korean. This is Feel Special by Twice Extreme Version. It actually followed a nice pattern that I notice a lot of uh, K-pop routines do in Just Dance games. In Just Dance 2019, Bang 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 by Big Bang had an extreme version, and Do by BLACKPINK did not have an extreme version. In the next game, Just Dance 2020, BLACKPINK had an extreme version with Kill This Love, and Twice did not with Fancy, and now Twice has an extreme version with uh, Feel Special. And interestingly, um, unless I'm forgetting something, the only other K-pop songs on the track list are Kick It, which we just saw had an extreme, and Ice Cream. So it's kind of interesting how we're gonna have to break the pattern, because unless the next BLACKPINK song is getting an extreme, although because of that pattern, I knew Feel Special was going to get an extreme before it was officially revealed, because Feel Special was one of the 3 songs that were leaked on the Microsoft Store. And so I think, especially with this routine, this year the Just Dance YouTube channel released the 1-second preview of the extremes at some point as well before the game's release. So during the pre-chorus, the chorus, and the second verse, I know what I'm doing a lot better than the other parts of the routine, because I've had so much more practice with those parts. And you can really see that in a lot of the routines, where I'm like kind of flailing around, and then I just get to a part and I just know it really well because I've had practice, which I think is kind of funny. But there was really nothing we could do about getting the full routines except for the routines that were released on Unlimited, which none of the alternates were. So we think that Yameen Yasar was supposed to be a different song, but they replaced it with this before went in production. According to someone who asked one of the dancers on the classic routine on some form of social media, I forget, that they were listening to Yameen Yasar when recording instead of having the other music play. But in the game files, this does have the code name of the song it was supposed to be, Habibi Yayani by Organite. So this isn't just a random Ubisoft song that they decided to give a hard, intense classic routine and an extreme version. So fortunately, most of the stuff was in the 1-minute trailer, so I know this routine pretty well. There are some moves that are questionable on how well they're scored, by which I mean sometimes I do well and sometimes I don't, like that okay you just saw. Sometimes I get perfect on that, sometimes I get good. I get okay a couple times. And I'm more likely to get the okays the more tired I am. But hopefully I'll be more in shape by the time the marathon rolls around. Apparently, a lot of people like this song and have wanted it to be in Just Dance for a while, and now that it is, it got an extreme. So, congratulations to everyone who likes Temperature, because it has an extreme. And a lot of extreme version backgrounds are like kaleidoscopic versions of the classic routine background, and this one isn't really that. It just has a bunch of the ice statues of the penguins and the polar bears with varying colors, which is cool. I'm so sorry for that pun. If you decide to not include it because of that, that is completely fair. Uh, because while I may not be commentating, the my commentators may very well decide to make that joke, and so it's up to you if you think that joke is, or if you think the run is worth jokes like that, because there's not a ton to say, and you want your listeners, or we want the viewers to watch or to listen to the music and to dance, so we don't need that much commentary, and there isn't that much commentary anyway, so it's really just puns, which I like, but I know not everyone does. It's always really surprising when we find extremes for songs that uh, are like older because we weren't expecting them. This is probably the hardest extreme because there's no similarity between the moves and the verses at all. There's a lot of different moves, and so it's kind of crazy. I'm definitely going to need more practice before I do this blindfolded. Um, this is the dancer is actually the main villain from the background of the classic routine, which is really cool. Some people were predicting that she would be, but I didn't think it was likely. But here we are, so I can be wrong sometimes. And what I'm not wrong about is how fun this routine is once you start to get to know it. So I know it's hard to tell, especially because I'm not wearing, uh, especially because I am wearing sunglasses, but my eyes are locked on the pictograms because that's more helpful of seeing what move I should be doing than following the coach or even seeing my score. So the chorus is the same every time, but it's still got plenty of different moves to uh, still got plenty of different moves. And something I'm not sure I've mentioned yet is how in some routines like this one, you can notice cuts between takes of the routine, um, which, like, I understand why they decided to do that instead of just make another take and do that thing the whole way through, because it's 2020 and you want to do as few things as possible, which I understand, and it's still a good routine. It's just really noticeable in some places. Some other routines have done it too, like Without Me's classic routine and Runaway, You and I, and Samba de Janeiro did it. I forget if the Samba de Janeiro alternate routine did it, but not every routine did, but it's definitely noticeable when it happens. So, not complaining, just once it stops being 2020 and we can actually do things, uh, I suggest you not do that anymore. Well, we're not going to get a complete movie at the beginning of this one again. It is still a really cool routine and a very cool graphic. And like 2019 was really the return of synthwave, and this routine and the classic routine just exemplify that more than anything else. This is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd Extreme version, and it is very extreme. And one thing I notice around all the extremes is how many moves there are where you have to do your arm in a little loop while it's going up or down. Like, I'm pretty sure that's in every extreme, which is, like, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's certainly interesting. And I don't know how you, like, animate backgrounds like this, but it must take a really long time. And the way they're always synced with music is even cooler. Also, that move on the ground is not fun. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but I just do it like completely sitting down and I raise my arms until I have to jump back up. And that kind of hurts. And but I get points for it, so I'm not going to change it unless, yeah, I'm just not going to change it. This is more of a side note than anything else, but I forgot to mention that the coach is kind of wearing like a Nintendo Power Glove, which is hilarious. Also, this gold move is interesting. Fortunately, there's like at least a second of downtime afterwards for me to like get my bearings, because that part's not counted for points until the next move. Viscondo is from 2018, so it's not that old, but it wasn't in Just Dance 2019 or 2020. Um, so I didn't know about it until it got revealed, but it was uh, the classic routine and the alternate routine were revealed at the same time, and we all like both of them, and it seems everybody likes both of them. I do too. Um, and there are a lot of fun moves, tiring and quite extreme, but very fun, especially Gold Move 2. Raises eyebrows quickly. The same lyric errors that were in the classic routine are here, uh, so don't try to sing along. I mean, you can, but I suggest you not look at the lyrics to know what you're actually saying, because that's not what you're actually saying. I'm very surprised that the song by Sean Paul isn't the most uh, doesn't have the most lyric errors in this game, and I'm not even sure it has any. Like, you can check the Just Dance wiki, but I don't think Temperature has any mistakes, whereas this has Yameen Yasar. At some point, they forget a word, and at some point they replace an E with a 3, which is kind of funny. But then there's this, which has like a 70% literacy rate. So I don't know what was going on, but I don't think whoever wrote this can speak Spanish. But also, like, you can find the lyrics online on, like, Genius and stuff. Why do you have to, why can't you just use that to check your work? Also, Gold Move 2 is fun, but I'm not going to keep rambling until that happens. Well, we're somehow already in the final 2. And now it's time to see what my costume is. This is Don't Start Now Extreme version. And let's get the money shot with me next to the coach. So that is me. That is why I'm wearing sunglasses and black pants and that jacket. I don't have a pink glove, so the closest thing I have is this red-ish winter glove. So that's fun having on my hand for 3 hours. The pre-chorus, chorus, and verses I all know because I practiced them with the preview, which came out like the week after Yameen Yasar's did, which was the week after Buscando. And so that is going to look a lot better than the bridge and the ending. But also the scoring is a lot less bad than the classic version, which is the only song I don't have 13,000 points on, and it's making me so upset. But at least this is all fun and good. Also, this is the third of the 3 routines that had a lyric error. Or not lyrics, background error. There was Bailando, which had which they didn't fix. There was Till the World Ends, where at some point during the second pre-chorus, what am I saying? At some point, the background would just like go completely black for a little bit, but they fixed that. And then in the day 1 patch, they fixed this routine where in the background, instead of survive, the last E was cut off, so it looked like survivi. And there was someone who commented on the Just Dance wiki that they liked everything except survivi. So congratulations, you now think this routine is perfect. And frankly, I do too. It's great fun, great song, good exercise, and not a ridiculous costume that no one would ever wear. which is more costumes than I'd like, although some I understand, like without me, they're superheroes and supervillains. No muggle would ever wear that. And we are coming up on the last song. Normally I would have put this last because it's like the best song and I'm wearing that costume, but I've got a higher score on the next one. I'm closer to the Dancer of the Week, which is whoever has the highest score since it's like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or something like that on Saturday. And so it resets whenever that happens, and then you go to get the Dance of the Week once again. Except it's really bugging, so I haven't been getting it, and now I'm upset. So now I'm stretching and getting ready to do Till the World Ends Extreme version, which is great in every way except what on earth is the coach's costume? Ew. Well, maybe not ew, I don't know what that is, and I don't think it looks good. But here is the final routine. Thank you so much for watching this marathon run, and I will see you at the end of Till the World Ends Extreme, which I'm still almost in disbelief that it exists. They told me to keep dancing till the world ends, and it's 2020, and I'm still dancing, which means there's still hope for the world. And now, screen goes white, and I fall over and collapse, and I Don't stop the timer because the timer's not where I am, but thank you again so much for watching this marathon submission for Just Dance 2021, all songs and or all routines to your marathon. I'm going to probably submit this to multiple marathons. And please have this, even though DMCA will probably roast you alive. That is not something I can help with, and that probably doesn't help my case. But everything else, this is great. I love this game. You should too. Have me in your marathon, please. Thank you, bye.